Hello everyone, this is Yasir from Fairfax QA Center. In this video, we will create our first Selenium IDE script. We will learn how to record and analyze the script, the different commands, and information in different panes that is loaded during recording the script. So let's start. First of all, let's understand what we are going to automate. In the manual testing, you might have manually tested the login functionality of FortoWord application for invalid credentials. In simple words, enter the invalid email address and password and check the system behavior if it is showing proper error or not. So the manual testing steps and expected result could be following. The first step is open the FortoWord application in the browser. I already have opened. The second step is click on the login link. The third step is enter the email address and password. So enter the email address y@a.com and the password 123456. The fourth step is click on login button. So you can see our actual result returned by the system is equal to our expected result. System is showing us the proper error message, that is wrong info entered, try again. So this test case is passed. Now let's automate these test cases in Selenium IDE. We will perform same steps that we just did, like click on login link, enter the email address and password, click on login button and record these steps. Once it would be recorded, we wouldn't need to perform this test case manually anymore. Let's start. Go to home page, open the Selenium IDE. Click on the developer tab and then select the Selenium IDE menu item. So we are ready to record the script. Click on record button. Next, we will perform all steps given in invalid user login test case, like click on login link, enter the email address and password, and click on login button. Click on login link. Enter the email address. You saw as soon we click on login link and enter the email address, Selenium IDE recorded that steps in the form of commands. We will understand these commands and their architecture. The next, enter the password 123456. Click on the login button. Now here is the interesting situation. When we do the manual testing, we use our brain to analyze the result, like we read the error message and compare it with expected result, right? In Selenium IDE, we use commands that match error message with the expected result and make our life much easier. So right click on this error message box and select the option wait for text. Go ahead and stop the recording. So we successfully recorded the script against invalid login credentials test case. Let's save this test case. Go to file menu, select the menu item save test case. Enter the name of the test case, for example, invalid cred login, and click on Save button. Just for the reference, the Selenium IDE test cases are saved in HTML format. Let's close the unnecessary windows and go to home page back. Now let's rerun the script to verify the script is properly recorded. Once I would click on this Play Current Test Case button, you would see the Selenium IDE will run each step and execute this test case in the browser. Click on Play Current Test Case. You saw the test case ran very fast and we were not able to see each step. So if you want to slow it down, use this slider control and drag it to slow. Okay, now let's go back to home page and rerun the test case. Click on Play Current Test Case button. You saw the test case ran a little slow and we were able to see few steps when Selenium IDE entered email address, password and clicked on login button. So this is how you control the execution speed. Now the bottom line is you don't need to execute this test case manually anymore. Each time you need to run it, just open invalid cred login file from your computer and click on Play Current Test Case in a Selenium IDE and that's it. Selenium IDE will take care of test execution steps and expected result using its commands and would show you the result either test case is passed or failed. So this is how we automate the test case using Selenium IDE. Next, let's understand different panes information, messages and commands architecture. First of all, you can see all steps are green. That means all steps are successfully executed. If any of the step is colored red, it means it is a failure step. For example, in the last step, we are expecting this value wrong and for entered, try again. If we would change this value in Selenium IDE, the step will get failed because of the values mismatch and it would be colored red. Double click on wait for text command. Add any random text in the value text box. Now play this test case again. You saw the label text has been updated. Now runs is equal to 1 and failures is equal to 1. The test case name background as well as the step where it got failed has been turned to red. So it means our test case got failed and we need to fix it. You might have noticed one more thing while executing the last step, the Selenium didn't fail the last step immediately, but waited for at least 30 seconds. This 30 seconds is the time we specified in the options to tell the Selenium to wait for the item to load. Because it may happen, the item Selenium IDE is trying to access still didn't load because of any issue like internet or network. Next, The most important concept is the command. Selenium stores the steps in the form of commands. For example, the first command open tells the Selenium to open the home page of PhotoWorld application. There are three parts of each step in Selenium IDE. The first one is command, the second one is target, and the third one is value. Let's try to understand each part one by one. The first is the command. Command is the action to be performed. For example, open, click and wait, type, wait for text. These are all the commands. The open command is used to open any URL. The click and wait command is used to click on any button or link and wait for content of the page to load. The type command requires the input sequence of characters. For example, use keyboard to enter the text like we typed email and password. The wait for text command waits for specific text to be loaded in specified time. The next is the target. Target is the UI element, for example, label, text box, buttons, etc., on which this command would be applied. For example, click and wait is the command and it would be applied on the login link. Similarly, the command type would be applied on email address and password text fields. The third one is the value. This is not applicable for all commands but used for commands like type. Type command requires the user input by keyboard. This user input saves in the value text box. Now the best thing that I like is I can add totally different values in email address and password text fields, for example valid credentials, and save this test case with different name like valid cred login. Or I can remove the email address value and keep only password value and check the system response and so on. So you can see you only need to record the script once and you can have almost all possible test cases and all of them are automated. You don't need to perform them manually. This is the power of automation tools. They save a lot of time and effort and are more accurate than the manual testing. Now let's look into the log tab. Log displays runtime messages during execution. It provides real-time updates what Selenium IDE is doing. Log can be info or information, error, warning, or debug. The info log tells us which command the Selenium IDE is currently executing. Error messages are generated when Selenium IDE fails to execute any command or condition. For example, wait for text, etc. So let me clear this log and run the test case again. You will see the log tab in action. So at the end, you can see the log is clearly telling us the status of our test case. Our test case got failed because wait for text condition value didn't match with our entered value. Next is the reference tab. The reference tab shows the brief description of currently selected Selenium command. It shows what are the parameters of the command and other information, for example, what this command does and where it can be used. It's kind of embedded documentation. So in this video, we'll learn how to record the script in Selenium IDE, how to rerun the test case, what is the command and how it works, and how the automation testing tools make software testing easy, fast, and accurate than the manual testing.